This video is solely just to help with the future routing of all the electrical cables and everything, really, how it's all assembled. So it's going to take a video of how this thing's put together. Plug here. It's one of the bike's main plugs. It's all just to help. The shock's a shot. And some new ones of those. They're kind of hard to find. My rear wheel, I've got one of these already to replace this one, and I've got this one here which I could probably repair as a spare. The frame is twisted, so I've got a new frame as well. I'm going to swap all the parts onto the new frame to make life quite easy. I'm going to keep the airbox for now and the original intake set up because it works well. Eventually I'll get some larger carburetors and pod filters, new chain and sprockets. Obviously those are so worn out, it's unbelievable. It's pretty bad. Straighten up the rear sets. See the new riding position it's going to have compared to the clip-ons. It's going to be nice for my back. It's going to have a nice riding position there. I'm going to get a new stainless exhaust system for it. You can get them from Black Widow exhausts over in the UK, and they're pretty well priced. So I'm going to get a set of those, a full system. Head is back, stainless steel. It's going to look pretty nice. Get that little gouge welded up and then sanded down and painted. The whole engine's getting painted. New cover, new oil pressure sensor which goes in there, switch, sensor, whatever. And this is actually a Suzuki Bandit front end, it's not a gs1200ss front end, so I'm going to have that one on there, which gives me the nice top triple clamp, which actually gives bar mounting through there. So got some rubber bushes to go into there, which somewhat make the bars floating on rubber mounts to make it less vibratey to the hands. Although these engines are pretty smooth, being an inline 4, it's always nice to have that. So yeah, the 4 carburetors in a row, oil line going to the head. You need to remove this head and do valve clearances. So it's a gs1200ss as it stands. It's going to have a similar riding position to that one right there, but it's going to be much nicer than this one. It's still a nice bike, but I'm going to build this one much better. And that's a more standard one over here, which I'm not really going to do anything to. It's pretty much what I'm going to keep it like. So yeah, that's my setup. That's what I'm going to work off. This is probably one of my favourite engines that's ever been in a motorcycle. Big Suzuki oil-cooled GSXR derived Bandit 1200 engine. Very cool engine, man. It's got massive mid-range power and torque. It's very good for the street. It's amazing, quite heavy, but once you got the bike set up right, it doesn't really matter. You can still throw it around. Perfect for touring, long distance riding. The engine RPMs with this chain and sprocket setup is sitting around 3,200 RPM at 100 k's an hour, and the The red line's like 10k or something, 10.5. So you can really see how under stress that engine is. If it's just sitting around 3,200 RPM, and it's got all that left to go. And that's with only a 5-speed gearbox as well. So yeah, pretty cool bike. This one's going to be really nice. Got all my plastics down here and my fuel tank. Gonna get that panel beater. There's a bit of a dent on the side. Plastics are in good condition. They're just going to get scrubbed back and painted. That's about it. New indicators coming, a new headlight coming, and a new windscreen fly screen coming. So yeah, that's what it's going to be like. And I'm planning to have it done by around October, so then I can get it tested and proven for before summer. So when summer comes along, got a big ride planned, over a week's riding, and I plan to take this motorcycle. So I want to get it done in October so I can give it some time to test it out, see if there's any issues, sort them out before I go on the big ride, and have a new beast to ride on the new summer's ride. So it's going to be good. Get a new set of tyres. Obviously these ones are stuffed. The front one's not too bad, but it's quite old. So I think it's like almost 10 years old, going by the date on the side, but I couldn't read it very well. So it's a brand new tyre in terms of its use. Like it's still got this on the side, so it hasn't even been leant over quite beyond there. Still got a way to go, and the centre is like hardly worn out. So it's had very few Ks on this tyre, but it's quite old rubber, so I might get it replaced as well if that's the case. And potentially, probably very unlikely, depending on how well it rides, I might go through the front forks and put some better springs in there. But it's a bit out in the open at the moment, so got to test it out first before I go pulling it apart and wasting my time if it's already fine. No point trying to fix something that ain't broken. So yeah, that's the gs1200 as it stands, and just a video walking around so then I can refer back to this when it comes time to put it back together. And also it helps having another GS which is pretty standard, well very standard, so then I can use that as a reference as well if I get stuck. So yeah, got cables, those are the throttle cables. Might have to route those differently anyway for when they get put up there.